Alright, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And the video I'm bringing you is a part 3 of the battle for Arrius. Now, these are clips all compiled from the same day. Me and three of my buddies decided to go over to Arrius Keep and try and take it or get some good fights. We got a lot of good fights. Game performance isn't very good, so I wanted to post all this in a multi-part series because I thought that they were fun. And, second of all, when the game's working semi-well, I think we all just kind of want to look at it nostalgically and be like, why can't it be like that all the time? So that's kind of what this is for. There's still some lag, there's still some latency. You'll be able to see it in the clips. But before I dive into the commentary, I wanted to talk a little bit, about small-scale PvP and all these other sorts of things because every once in a while, I get it on my channel, and it's not directed at any one person. Like the last person that mentioned it, he didn't even mean it in the way that I'm bringing it up. But I get it a little bit where I'll post like solo or like small scale PvP, and people will be like, "Well, that's selfish. You're playing selfish PvP. You're not impacting the map. You're not pushing objectives. You're not doing anything to further the cause for open world PvP," which technically, or, in a lot of situations that is true. Like small-scale PvPers, a lot of small-scale PvPers don't impact the map. But there's also large groups that don't impact the map either. Just because you're in a large group doesn't mean you're pushing the objectives that your group should be pushing. If you want to play the objective, there's multiple things you can do. And so it always kind of floors me when people talk about like large scale is like the only way to PvP or small scale or whatever. Because at the end of the day, guys, if you like to large scale PvP, you need small scalers. You need small scalers in your alliance that can take on large groups of people like this, that can pull people away from the inner circle so that you can push the objectives a little bit easier. Not dealing with 60 people, dealing with 40 instead of 60 is really nice, and that's what small groups can do. If you're a small group and your big groups are not pushing the objectives and your resource, your home keeps are taken and you have nowhere to spawn and your gate, you're parked at your gate, where are you going to find a fight? There's nowhere to go to find a fight that's reasonable for you. Literally, there's like 15 people parked at your gate and you're trying to 1v15 them, and you're going to hop off because you're going to be like, well, fuck this. Like, there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go on the map, and every time I take something, a Zerg shows up because the Zergs are looking for fights too. At the end of the day, a healthy map, big skill to lay on that leap. At the end of the day, a healthy map is good for large and small scales. I know there's not a whole lot to gain from a personal standpoint from finishing in the top 10 in rewards or anything like that, but there is something to be gained for healthy fights if your faction at least has their home keeps and a few extra keeps, because that means there's more places you can spawn, there's more places you can defend, there's more places you can go to attack, less of a ride back if you wipe, like all these other sorts of things. And so all this is good. And so I always try to advocate for, playing the objective and opening up keeps before you go off and go do your own thing. And what leads me to this point is Blue had no inner keeps when we hopped on. Blue had 0 inner keeps. Red was 1 or 2 away from Emperor. And we're like, you know what? We need to pull Red off the inner keeps. What can we do? And it's like, okay, well, let's go to Arrius. Arrius has a scroll. I think it was a DC scroll, but it doesn't matter. It was a scroll. I was like, we're going to go over here. We're going to take the resources. And if they don't come and fight us there, we're going to siege the front door. You can siege a door of a tower with a nice 20k. That was either a leap or an execute. I can't tell with the delay. You can either siege or you can take a keep with 2 to 3 people. You set down a ram, you set down 3 ballista, and you just go at it. And a lot of people don't realize that. They think you need 15 to 20 people to take some of these keeps, and it's just not true. And so I think a lot of players live in open world PvP back, and they still think about the Cypher, Cody PvP, and King Richard, Fang Rush, solo days. They're like, yeah, that's that's the way PvP still is. That's the way open world PvP still is, and it's not. If you're a small scaler like me, or if you want a small scale like this, if you go and just try to take a resource, nobody's showing up. They're gonna see a resource taken, and they're like, all right, whatever, that doesn't matter. Like, we can have a level 10 go siege that after that person leaves, and then they can take the key by themselves. Taking resources doesn't do anything. Like, I very rarely pull a group off of taking a resource. What does pull groups is when you start to siege a home keep like Arrius that has a scroll in it, and the group realizes, in this case Ebonheart, they realize like, hey, if DC takes this keep, all of DC is going to spawn in this area. They're going to be a King's Crest. They're going to be they're going to be a Chalman behind us. They're going to be a Blue Road, and we're going to have. It's going to be a lot harder to defend and get AP if they're just attacking from all these different areas. And so, as a small scaler, I'm looking for outnumbered fights. But if they don't want to give them to me, I force the action. And so I put. At this point, we're essentially putting EP in a situation to where it's lose-lose. If they come fight us with 10, 15 people, 20 people, we've now pulled 20 people off the inner circle. We're now having a good fight. It's awesome for us. If they don't, we take the keep, and now they have to try and defend 4 or 5 different areas from an influx of a large amount of DC players. So it's not good for them either way. So. These are the types of things you can do as a small scaler. You can go wherever you want. You can take these high choke point areas and push action, and you can force these fights. And that's what we did all night. And we had a lot of good fights. I want to say. I feel like I've talked to a few guys in Black Marsh Legion, and they enjoy a good fight as much as the next guy. And I'm sure they had a fun time. I don't know what this other group is that was here, but. At the end of the day, a fun fight's a fun fight, guys. So this is what we look forward to when we play this game. Is whether you small scale or large scale, it's just action. Killing each other, respawning. Just this is the type of stuff that gets me coming back. Whether or not input delay exists or not. Hopefully it gets fixed sometime soon. But when it's at least okay, like. This is the stuff I like to do. Whether it's solo or small scale, these are fun fights. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the series so far. I've had a lot of fun doing it. Hopefully we can get more fights like this in the future. Hopefully the game lends itself to do that. But yeah, that's going to be my. I'm going to hop off the pedestal talking about large and small scale. But long story short is, whether you're solo. And you're defending keeps like Brindle, the outer points, and you're defending against the 6 people trying to take Brindle, and you're getting your 1v6 in, or if you're calling out because there's 40 people coming to, Karmala, and you can't fight 40 people, you're helping your faction by pointing out where these spots are. And so any person that says that small scale or solo PvP can't help a faction, they're wrong. They're 100% wrong. And at the end of the day, the large scalers and small scalers need each other. Large scalers, if you're in a good organized large scale group, you need small scale PvPers to essentially be your scouts, to call out fights that they can't handle. Because if they can't handle it, that means that that's a fight worthy of your time. Do you really want to take a 24-man to Karmala to fight 4 people and kill them when you could be going somewhere else to get an actual fun fight? No, I don't think so. And that's what small scale does for large scale. As a small scale player, it's nice to have a healthy map. It's nice to have multiple spawn points. It's nice to be able to go, we have all the way, as DC, we have all the way to Robeck or Bleakers, so I can go fight red, and we have Ash and we have Nickel, so I can head down to Yellow. I have multiple different places I can fight at. If the large scale players are not taking it, and your home keeps are all taken, and you're stuck at your gate, you have one place to fight, and it's typically versus a large group, and it's not very fun. When they're sitting there looking for AP too, and there's a lot more of them than you. And there's nothing you can do about it. You just have to fight it and push out. So, yeah. Now I'm off the pedestal. Hopefully I explained myself well. But yeah, PvP's fun. You can regardless of what you do, you can have fun playing, and you can impact the map, and continue to have fun by having a healthy map. So yeah, so far in this fight, as you guys have seen, we were inside of Arrius. We knocked down the outer door. We had the inner door at about 50%. They were sieging us, waiting for a large group to show up. A large group did show up. They pushed us back. We killed them, and now we pushed them out, and then they came back, and now this is us, fighting them again. And yeah, this is us just forcing action. Like there's no way that they can. This group this large, like if we were just taking the resources, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't care to try and fight us. But because we're trying to take the keep, they have to sit here and fight us. They have to wipe us. They have to take us out of this area, because if they let us be, we're going to go knock the door down again. You know, we're going to keep pushing the action until either we take the keep and make it a huge pain in the ass for them, or they wipe us and then we respawn and, you know, whatever. So, yeah, that's what's fun. So right now we're just, we had our big fight up top. They had a couple siegers, and so we're just taking out those people right now, just trying to focus, trying to take the flag, get our tick here. Buddy drops a meteor, does a bunch of damage, splashes on the stam sword, and yeah. So overall, once again, just some really good fights. I have one more part of this, which in my opinion are my favorite fights that we had. It was at the end. Very action-packed, little nerve-wracking. So hopefully I do it some justice in talking about it. But if you guys have any questions about this build, I will provide it in the section below. I am running 5-piece New Moon Acolyte and 5-piece Titan board. I just posted this build yesterday. So as of yesterday, I posted this build on my channel. Really, really enjoying it. It's a medium armor build. As you can see, it hits very hard. You know, I've hit a 24k leap on these videos. I've hit 20k leaps, like bunch of damage, pretty good sustain. You see the sustain's good and, you know, relatively tanky. You know, like I wouldn't say like I'm a super tank, but I can, you know, you can take a few hits. So definitely what I like to play right now. You know, when you need a bunch of damage, like having this kind of punch and this kind of tankiness via healing is very nice. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll provide, like I said, I'll provide a link in the description. Right now we're just finishing healing people. If you guys have any questions or whatever about my thoughts on large scale and small scale PvP, I would be more than happy to have those conversations with you guys. At the end of the day, there's no right or wrong answer. You know, if you want to play in large scale groups and you want to run the map and push the objective, that's what this game was initially sold on, was its large scale PvP battle. You know, that was some of the first commercials I saw. So you're not a Zergling because you like to play large scale PvP. You know, at the end of the day. If you like to play small scale or solo, there's nothing wrong with that either. You can do whatever you want, and you know that's the cool part about a game like this. So hopefully they fix the performance so I can post more clips like this for you guys, but we'll just take it as we can see it. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.